Does anyone else feel like they've seen that game before? Very familiar. Old Trafford, Manchester United 3, Arsenal 1. Very strange game to analyse because there was so much in Arsenal's performance that was positive. I have to say, I don't feel Arsenal did themselves any great discredit today. I think a lot of people who looked at Arsenal and said, who have they played? They've not done anything. They're not all that. Actually, including Gary Neville on the Sky commentary, have come away from that game thinking, this is maybe a slightly more serious, slightly more threatening team than people potentially envisaged. There was a lot that was good. There were a few things that were bad, and Arsenal were punished pretty severely for them. What can I say? I still think Arsenal were the better team on the day. I think they looked a better team generally. I think they were beaten in the fashion that a slightly inferior team sometimes beats a superior team. Counter-punch, counter-attack. But I think if you dominate every game you play, and Arsenal thus far have dominated every game they've played in the Premier League, 6 games, and they've had, I think, the better of 6 of them really, then you're going to win a lot more football matches than you're going to lose. Today, the fine margins, the penalty box moments did not go in Arsenal's favour. But that is going to happen. And look, there were mistakes made, don't get me wrong. I'm not too sanguine about defeat. I hate losing to Manchester United. I think second only to losing to Spurs. They are a really heated rival, and I grew up on that rivalry in the 1990s, and that kind of stuff never goes away. But yeah, I'm not despondent by any stretch of the imagination. I saw a lot that I liked. So let's break it down. The first goal is massive, and Arsenal thought they had it. Really brilliant counter-attack after seemingly winning the ball around the halfway line. Saka playing in Martinelli, superb finish. Exactly the sort of electric play we've seen from Martinelli since the very start of the season. Ruled out for a foul by Martin Odegaard. Was that a clear and obvious mistake on the referee's part? I'm not sure he thought it was clear and obvious because he took a very long time making that decision. I'm not a fan of video technology in football. I'm sure you'll hear me on a soapbox about that on podcasts and the like this week. I feel it takes away too much from the moments, and as a fan who, loves what the sport is for live spectators, those moments are kind of everything. I had a bit of a moment, to be fair, on my sofa. That sounds bad. But what I mean is it was whipped away from us by VAR. I think, does Martin Odegaard get the ball? No. Does he foul the player? I think that's a different question. I think on balance, it probably was the right decision. But frustrating nonetheless. And then United get their goal. And I have to look at Albert Sambi Lokonga here. I'm not picking on him. He's a young player in a position where Arsenal tried to sign somebody on deadline day. I think defensively, I think he has the attributes to play that role from a kind of ball progression perspective. I think his ball playing ability is more adventurous than Mohamed El-Neni's. I'm not sure he has the positional sense, the tactical awareness that's required. I think we always think about Partey as a player who does brilliant things on the ball, and he is, but actually there are some games, I think back to the Crystal Palace game, first game of the season, where he didn't have a great game on the ball, but he won something like 8 challenges, picked up a ton of loose balls. I think the defensive side of his game is sort of the kind of thing that doesn't go hugely noticed, but we missed it. Anyway, he pushed up quite high to close Christian Eriksen down. Eriksen played the ball into the space, and that was where United hurt us in the first half. Rashford and Fernandes dropping into the space between midfield and defence. Gabriel, I think, had to step out. To be honest, having stepped out, has to win it or bring the player down, does neither. I think Zinchenko kind of has to come across, which leaves, of course, a man spare. And the finish looked very simple. I don't know if he gave the goalkeeper the eyes, but it seemed like he was, deceived, sent the wrong way, effectively. Then But Arsenal rallied quite well, particularly at the start of the second half. Got the equaliser through Bukayo Saka, who had a kind of untidy game, but very nearly had an assist, had a goal. So I think, some of the sort of hyperbole around his recent form is a little bit overstated. I think he's still a threat, he's still dangerous, he's just not quite clicking. Things aren't happening quite as automatically and smoothly as we're used to seeing from him. Get back into the game, and at that point, I reckon everyone in Old Trafford, everyone watching at home, thinks there's only one winner. Of course it wasn't Arsenal, it was Manchester United. And two really sloppy goals given away, counter-attacks. They felt kind of similar. First, again, Sambi's not in that area in the middle of the park. He's at left back covering Zinchenko. Zinchenko's not really picking up his man in the middle of his park. He's kind of not doing one thing or the other. Ball through to Rashford. Saliba's on his heels. I think he gets very lucky with the finish. Ben White slides in and just takes it over the goalkeeper's leg. And then the third one, I don't know what was going on. Offside trap was very odd. Saliba was kind of playing on the halfway line, just trying to stay in the opponent's half. Ben White didn't get the memo, and they just played through us very simply. I think at 2-1, it was that Arteta made the triple change. He went to the three at the back, the two up top. Same thing we saw that, got us the win for the Fulham game, was it? A system that's been quite effective for Arsenal. Maybe too much risk. At 2-1, 20 odd minutes to play, Arsenal had shown they could pin United back, they could dominate possession. Was it a bit too chaotic to make three changes and change the shape? Especially when all United's threat was the ball in behind. Rashford on one wing. I think maybe it was Elanga by that point in time, on the other, Ronaldo through the middle. 3-1 is a very harsh scoreline on Arsenal, I have to say. I think on the balance of play, I think a draw probably would have been fair. But, you make mistakes, you're punished for them, and Arsenal probably didn't convert their territory into enough good chances. I'm thinking of Saka flashed that one across the box. He had a left lofted cross that hit the bar. See, this is the thing. I do think he was very involved, very bright in some respects. It's inches, really. Odegaard from a cutback didn't make good contact, could maybe have taken a touch. Martinelli header in the first half that was a decent save from David De Gea. I don't know, if Arsenal play like that, then more often than not, they'll win games. The best teams in this league have dropped points this season, and Old Trafford is somewhere where you can drop points if the margins slip at all, and they did for Arsenal today. But I thought Gabriel Jesus was very good. I thought Gabriel Martinelli was very good. I thought Saka had his moments. I thought Xhaka was pretty good. I thought with the exception of one very obvious example, the playing out from the back was very, very good. Showed United up, really, because it's something they're less good at. Ramsdale's distribution out to Ben White time and time again was spot on. Zinchenko was good in build-up. It's sort of easier to list positives than negatives. The negatives is just that sort of game management, tactical smarts, and I guess the frustration for fans is going to be that we've talked about that kind of thing before. But on we go. What have we got coming up? We're going to lose eventually. If we win 37 of 38, that's still not a bad season. It is FC Zurich away on Thursday night. And if you can't get excited for that game, I don't know what you're going to get excited about. And then Everton at home next week, which is a great chance to kind of put it right, make it 5 from 6. Then we go to we host PSV and travel to Brentford, and then we're into the international break. If Arsenal can win those two Premier League games, I think, or even take 4 points, because Brentford won't be easy, they'll be very, very, very happy with their return. And they'll probably reflect on this is a game they should have got more points from. Then we come back to a North London derby. I'll tell you one thing, if Arsenal take anything from this game, it's that there are lessons they can learn for when they play Spurs, because the Spurs they will face will play in a similar fashion to United did. And once they got that first goal, it was always going to be about the break and how we handled that. And the answer was, not very well. I'll leave it there, guys. We're going to do an Arsecast Extra tonight. Look out for that. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.